The forgotten war that changed America forever. What if I told you there was a war America fought with fire in its lungs and blood in its streets, yet almost no one speaks of it today? A war that burned the White House to the ground. A war that could have ended the American dream before it even began. And still, it is the war America tried to forget. The year is 1812. The United States is barely 3 decades old, a fragile experiment of democracy still learning how to stand. Across the ocean, Britain, the old empire, the former master, still sneers at this upstart nation. American ships are harassed on the seas. Sailors are kidnapped, forced to serve the British Navy against their will. Trade routes choke under Britain's iron grip. The young republic has had enough. Congress declares war. It's a bold move, maybe too bold. At first, there's excitement, parades, speeches, politicians promising that victory will be swift, that America will rise as a true world power. Farmers, clerks, boys with trembling hands, they enlist with dreams of glory. But the war is not glory. It's mud, hunger, chaos. American forces march toward Canada, hoping to strike Britain's colonies. Instead, they are repelled, again and again. Soldiers fall in forests thick with smoke, the sound of musket fire echoing like a death knell. And then, the unthinkable happens. In 1814, British troops land on American soil. They march straight for the heart of the young nation, Washington, D.C. The president, James Madison, flees. His wife, Dolly Madison, frantically saves only a portrait of George Washington before abandoning the White House. Hours later, redcoats storm the city. They set fire to the Capitol. They burn the Treasury. They torch the White House until the night sky glows red like a wound. Imagine it, the center of American government reduced to ash. The dream of independence smothered under smoke. Families watch their city crumble. Soldiers retreat. And people whisper, "Is this the end?" For the ordinary soldier, it is hell. Letters home are filled with despair. "We fight," they write, "but for what?" The land remains the same. The dead grow in number, and the glory we were promised is only silence. Young men die in muddy fields, their names lost to time. Mothers bury sons they never knew were already gone. Whole towns are left defenseless, waiting for the knock at the door that might never come, or might be the sound of musket fire in the night. The United States is fractured, teetering on collapse. Some call for surrender, others for vengeance. The nation's very survival hangs by a thread. And yet, even in the ashes, something stirs. In Baltimore, British ships unleash a brutal bombardment against Fort McHenry. All night, rockets explode, shells rain down, fire paints the sky. The city is supposed to fall, the fort is supposed to crumble. But morning comes, smoke clears, and through the haze, a flag still waves. Tattered, scorched, but standing. A young lawyer named Francis Scott Key, watching the bombardment from a ship, is overcome. He begins to write, not a battle plan, not a treaty, but a song. "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?" From the chaos of war, from the screams and fire, comes the birth of a national anthem. And then, just like that, it ends. A treaty signed in Ghent. No land gained, no borders changed, thousands dead, cities burned, dreams crushed. On paper, nothing was won, nothing. And yet, survival was the victory. The United States, bloodied but unbroken, had proven it could survive the wrath of the greatest empire on earth. But here lies the cruel twist.
The war that gave America its anthem, the war that nearly erased the capital, the war that tested whether this fragile nation could survive, became the war no one wanted to remember. Overshadowed by the Revolution, buried beneath the Civil War, left to gather dust in history books few ever open. And so the War of 1812 became the Forgotten War, a war that changed America forever by nearly ending it